I reached out to a successful YouTuber who has 90,000 subscribers, and I shared my story with her when I started my channel when I was 69. I'm 70 now. And when I started my channel, I had big creative goals. And my camping video, which is not what I intended to make my niche, it went viral. So now I'm stuck with a niche that I didn't plan for. So I asked her, like, what do I do? With cold winter Ontario winters and camping not being my passion, I'm navigating the challenge of balancing audience expectations, income needs, because I'm only on government pension, and my true interests, like knitting. And I have other interests. So join me as I reflect on this journey, the ups and downs of building a channel with my hope to align passion with success, even as a senior YouTuber. So I share my notes, who I wrote to Silver and Solo, the 90K subscriber lady, God bless her, and she monetized her channel in 10 weeks. And she tells you how to do that, but I'm sharing my notes with her and with you. I sent Silver and Solo a comment and shared my story. And I don't know if she can comment on it or offer any wisdom advice, but this is what I said. I said to her, I don't know if you have any comments for my questions, but what if the niche, the topic that most viewers respond to, is not what you intended, not what you wanted to do? That happened to me. I started a channel age 69 and my hubby is 80, was at the time. And I started with creative ideas that people could get involved in. I'm a retired counselor and know that one of the most common ideas to help people was getting involved in something creative. So that was my niche, my main idea, be creative. Didn't get much response, but one day I decided to post consistently, and I was still hankering on that, be creative, it's going to help you with anxiety, depression, etc. Here's some creative ideas. And I put up a post where my hubby and I went camping, 2 seniors camping. Well, that video put me over the top. It gave me over 100,000 views. It's still growing. I got monetized. So my problem is I can't camp every day of the week. Ontario weather, we have cold winters. So at least for the next 20 weeks, I can't go camping. I'm 70 now. I don't want to camp in the snow. And my idea of camping is warm. I like warmth. So I said to her, my problem is I can't camp every week. It's not my passion. It's not my passion. It's not even what I want to do. Now I find myself researching ideas just to satisfy the people who want to hear about camping. I don't want to do this. I started a second channel about knitting, which I do every day. And that is slowly growing. I put up a series about my eye surgery. I just had eye surgery. And I posted for 9 days consecutively because they say put up a series. So I did a series. And I did research. Are there any stories out there about people who had a macular hole, who had surgery? What's the recovery like? I couldn't find them when I wanted them. So I decided to put them out there. And I realized that eventually, maybe, those will get picked up by people who are actually searching for that subject. So it got views, but not a lot. I put that on my monetized channel. I actually have 3 channels. So many of my camping viewers tuned in and commented, and they offered support, and they were very nice. Really, people are so nice, and I thank them. But I could see that my sub numbers were slowly going down. So I was like 1,760 subs. And now today, after the 9 days, it's gone down to 1,754. And yet the YouTube analytics say that I've actually gained some viewers. So what happens is you lose a few, you gain a few, and hopefully the numbers even out. But in this case, they're slowly going down, and this happened last winter. So I said, and yet the analytics say I gain views, so numbers go up and numbers go down. I feel sad. because in order to keep the monetized channel, to keep it going, I need to come up with at least 20 topics for the winter months until I can camp again. And like I said, it's not what I want to do. I'm not passionate about camping. I like it. I can do it. I enjoy it. I wish that I could camp a lot, like at least once a week, but I can't. It's not what I want to do. So I feel like giving up. My husband and I, we only have our government pensions. He was a pastor all his life. They didn't have a fund for a pension for when he retires. I was a counselor all my life. I didn't, self-employed, so I did have money set aside. I used most of it to help one of my kids. Now it's gone. Anyway, our senior pensions are super low. And my subs are super low on this channel. It's 13 now. I've done all the mechanics, all the technical things, which I've learned over this past year, and that's great. I love learning. So I've done all the technical and mechanical things to help grow the channel, but it doesn't seem to be happening. And the reason I have a knitting channel called Yarn Tales and Threads is because it used to be included in my seniors camping channel. And I decided, somebody said, well, the algorithm can't figure out what your niche is. Even though I had good response on ranunculus knitting and how to wind wool and, oddly, totally unrelated, I posted when we were at the American-Canadian border, and that got a lot of views. Like, how does that's not even camping, that's not knitting. So why did the algorithm pick that one up? I can't figure that out. Anyway, so they tell me that if you narrow down your niche and you stick to one subject, that the algorithm will get used to you, it'll find out what your channel is about, and it'll start promoting you. Hasn't happened. So I decided to separate my niches. I was putting knitting and camping, 2 videos every week, one on each subject. And then I took the knitting out to narrow down the camping niche. And that didn't seem to make any difference. And the knitting channel has about 33 subscribers. So it did grow a little bit faster than most of my channels grow. So I said to her, Silver and Solo, Jen, I said, it's mentioned, I don't know if you can offer any comments, but I thought I'd share my thoughts anyway. I'm Sue over here in Ontario, Canada, and you're over there in Vancouver. Cheers to you. I found your channel a while back, mentioned by another subscriber. I do all the things that you mentioned, that she mentions in her 10 points. I do all that stuff. Still waiting for the algorithm or whatever it is that truly sets a channel up into the mainstream. So, still recovering from eye surgery, seeing half of what I write and half of what I see because there's this bubble in my eye and it's slowly going down. Anyway, when I write this, I am struggling with hope. I have just a wee bit of hope. It's morning, and hope is usually low on the meter in the morning, and it rises as the day progresses. And so, well, that's one thing I know that will happen. That's one thing I actually have a little control over. I can feed into my own sense of hope. So I decided that I am going to share this today, and that's it. I'm just going to keep sharing more of what's going on in my life, and specifically how I feel about this channel, or any of my YouTube channels, because it's an up and down process. Mostly up and down emotionally. Hey, it looks good. Hey, it doesn't look good. So I try to not base or measure out my days based on YouTube channels. There's a lot of other really good things going on in my life. And when I focus on those, I do feel better. That's it. Share your ups and downs with me, and we can mourn together. There's a verse that says, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Well, this is the weeping channel today. Cheers.